first question to you is, how are you taking forward the multidisciplinary approach in consideration to NEP?
You see, the entire world is evolving in a very multidisciplinary fashion right now. This is primarily because you see, we are finding use cases and applications of one subject in another, and all. So in our case, what we are doing is, instead of spoon feeding them information, or cramming up more information into people's like students' mind, what we are basically trying to do is build a system in which we are teaching them how to think rather than what to think, because you see the world is evolving really fast. For example, earlier the definition of art was drawing a nice painting. Now it can also be just writing a very good line of prompt. So the idea over here is, as the world is evolving, we don't know what comes next, but only if a child is innovative, only if the child is creative, he can definitely make use of the tools that he will encounter in future, and can thrive in this coming age. Best example that I give is that of a cockroach and a dinosaur. A dinosaur was billion times more powerful than a cockroach, but we know who survives today.
Survival of the fittest.
Not exactly fittest, the adaptability.
Adaptability.
Yes.
So let me know, what are the learning interventions at your edtech company, that are benefiting the students of today's generation?
Right. So we have introduced well-researched techniques that were developed long back, but were never incorporated in any kind of academic curriculum across the globe. For example, have you ever heard of the term Socratic discussion? Okay. So it's there since the time of Socrates. But have you ever participated in a Socratic discussion during your school times? Exactly. So that's what we are trying to do. Means we'll give them some seed idea and ask students to build upon that in a peer group discussion manner, in which they see new avenues that are possible. For example, suppose I put a very simple question: what will happen if honeybees disappear? Some student might tell that we won't get honey. He is correct. Other student will tell we'll have lack of food grains because they are the pollinators. Third student might tell we'll have more landslides, because you see, once honeybee stops pollinating these small herbs, then there's no root to hold on to the topsoil. So now the student who told we won't have honey, he's saying what is the greatest possibility there that exists in terms of thought. Now we are encouraging him without telling that he is wrong. So this is one of the interventions we have. We have multiple such things.
Also, so do you think that the adapting of technological tools in studying something new, does they hamper the productivity of the students? Do you think that is increasing or something?
Not really. I'll tell you why. So earlier, when buildings were constructed, a lot of works were done manually. They had to use chisel and hammer. But now they're using machines. So it's telling that using of machines took away that hand skills is a wrong idea, because at the end we need the end product, we need the productivity. So the idea should be how to incorporate the new tools, not to how to keep the old usage intact. So we believe in that. So we actually think it is actually improving students with these new techs that are coming up. This is giving them a scope to do things that we had not imagined back in our days.
That's great. So at last I want to know, what advice would you like to give to the fellow educators and also to the parents?
Right. So to fellow educators first. So educators primarily think that their work is to disperse information and spread that. But I strongly disagree, because the dinosaur and cockroach example that I told you, we don't even know whether that information will be relevant in future or not. So the advice to fellow educators is, take that information, so that as a case study or an example, and inspire kids to think rather than force feeding them. And to parents, my advice would be to go into, it's enough of complaining that this thing is not taught in educational institutions, this thing is not taught. The idea is you should teach them how to learn, not what to learn. Because spoon feeding is not going to take anybody anywhere in future.
Do you think parents are helping students in the same way that it used to be in traditional medium? Do you think parents are helping students to learn the way it used to be in traditional medium?
Not exactly. I mean, I'll be very honest in this. It might not sound the best answer, but it is the truth I want to tell. So parents think their role, like not all parents, but usually what I have seen, most parents think their role ends in a student's education when they take them and get them admitted in some institution, maybe online, maybe offline, whatever it is. But you know, at institution, they will give you what to study or how to study. But to inspire kids to how to think, how to be, a good human being, and I can give you a knife, but I can't tell you what to do with that knife. That comes from your mind. So that mind is actually a collection of pre-notions and ideas that has to be inculcated by parents. So they need an active involvement. Even if they are taking admission somewhere, they need an active involvement.
Thank you so much for your valuable insights, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.